Hello, everyone. Today's Tuesday, September the 29th.
I'm Bruce Turner in Lynchburg, Virginia.
I'm George Dodger in Jacksonville, Florida.
I'm Jeff Zayas in Napa, California.
Hey, I'm Duke Carrico in Northeast Tennessee, and on tonight's Android Journal, it's going to be all about the new Google product. Hey, what did the panel think of the new phones, dongles, and tablets? Hey, gang, welcome to episode 106. How we doing, everyone?
Pretty good, but you said dongles.
I did say dongle. I did not say dingleberry. I said dongle.
I like dongles.
Dongle, dongle, dongle.
Okay, so who on the panel got to watch the announcements live today?
I watched a bit of it. I was working kind of, so I didn't watch a lot of it.
I got to watch about 3/4 of it. Actually, I jumped in at about 12:10. I was actually in the Tech and Coffee Hangout, and I asked somebody, what time is that supposed to start? And George, I believe you told me when it started, so I just jumped in there real quick. And I watched Twit's coverage of of the announcements and everything. So I enjoyed it. It was great. I really enjoyed it. They had a new guy helping with this Google announcements, somebody from Android Central, and I thought he did a good job. It was a nice add to the panel.
Yeah, very good. I've actually caught, I can't think of the gentleman's name you're speaking of, but he's been a reoccurring guest on their All About Android show on the Twit network. Yeah, he does a good job. I caught it, actually. I was out running around when it went down. I got back into work and I pulled up Twit's coverage. I caught it from, they had just started the Chromecast unveiling when I caught it. And first of all, guys, I think we can say that there were no real surprises about all of the information that was unveiled was leaked, except for that one more thing moment that came at the end. You know, I'd heard that rumored some months back that they were going to offer a Pixel tablet. And son of a gun, I was pretty impressed with what they showed there. But we'll save that for later. Let's talk about the phones. First of all, the 5X. You know, probably the most successful Nexus phone that Google has had has been the 2013 Nexus 5. And, they went back to LG to build this new 5 that they're calling the 5X. It is slightly larger than the original. It's got a 5.2-inch screen versus the 4.95-inch screen that the 2013 Nexus 5 had. It's got a fingerprint sensor that's on the back of the phone. It features the new USB-C connection. And, it's got about the same resolution, a slightly larger battery. And Bruce, let's just start with you. What were your opinions on the 5?
I thought it looked fine, and now that smaller phone from the Note that I had before, I think this is a nice phone. I think it's got really good specs. So and I think the main thing that Google did, and my impression from all the announcements they made, is they are really they're pricing these things really, really great and competitive compared to what you'd have to pay for an iPhone 6s or an iPhone 6 Plus. So I think they're competitively priced, and I think they compare really well hardware-wise.
Well, let me ask you. They've taken some criticism for only having 2 gigs of RAM. And a lot of these manufacturers that are making Android devices, their flagships, are 3 gigs of RAM. I think in Asus's case, they actually feature 4 gigs of RAM in an Android phone. Do you think that, let's put it this way, would you purchase or would you not purchase the 5 based upon 2 gigs of RAM?
That wouldn't have anything to do with my purchase. I think the RAM has a lot to do with the way you use the phone, and really when you think about it, a lot of it comes down to budget. I don't have to have a flagship phone anymore. I've mentioned that on a previous broadcast. So I'm looking for what do I use a phone for? For what I use a phone for, do I need 3 gigs? I had 3 gigs of RAM in one of my notes. Do I need 4 gig of RAMs on my phone? Not for what I use it for. No.
I think that's fair. And George, we hadn't seen Marshmallow yet. We don't know how processed or happy it could be. Would you not agree with that?
I'd agree. After Lollipop, I'm not sure what to expect to see. To be honest with you.
All right.
It might be the two gigs might be, if you're not doing like 4K video, which I don't know why you'd want to do 4K video, but that would be probably the only spot that the phone would lag a little bit in processing that perhaps. But $379 for the phone. Come on, that's a great price, right?
Well,
Absolutely.
I think $379 is a great price for a phone, but we are talking about 16 gigabytes here. That's what we're starting at with this. Is there any feelings on that, or in today's world, are 16 gigabytes enough?
I think it is actually. You're not gonna. Hopefully, we all gone through the idea of loading our phones up with so many apps and things like that. We don't do that anymore, right? You have Google Drive for Google Photos. You can just have everything go up there and just delete them off your phone after you have it. So again, I think it's okay. I don't think it's that. I don't think that's going to be a big deterrent for what you get.
Okay.
That's my gut tells me good solid phone. And what's the battery life on? What was the battery on that?
It was a 2440, I think, was the battery size.
And it's probably fixed, or is it fixed? Because my LG
Yeah,
is
fixed.
okay.
No SD port, no interchangeable battery.
Battery life was one of those stories about today too, because of what they're doing in Marshmallow, how they're controlling what happens to apps when you're in that downtime, and so they're saying a 30% increase in battery life. So, in fact, the other thing I would just say about the price again, as soon as they announced the price on the TWiT network, I mean, all of the people on that panel were taken back by that. And I thought that was aggressive pricing.
Plus, they get a $50 Google Play store credit.
Yep.
Correct.
$50 Google Play, absolutely. All right, hey, let's talk about the Huawei, the Nexus 6P. And, this is probably Google's most premium phone ever. It's got an aluminum chassis. It's very thin. It too has a fingerprint sensor. It too has the USB Type-C port. Which, listen, I know we're headed that way, and there's good reason to head that way, but when you make that first plunge to USB-C, you got to think about your cable situation. You know what I'm saying? You're going to require other cables, like where I charge at work, so forth, etc.
Yeah.
It's got a 5-megapixel front-facing camera, 12.3 megapixel on the back. It too does 4K video. It does slow motion shots, and there seemed to be a lot of emphasis put on the camera. I can only hope that this camera will be on par with what Samsung's recently offered. A lot of people are saying that the Note and the S6 has better cameras than the iPhones. So I'm hoping that Google has figured that one out. Hey, this thing's going to start at $500. Of course, both of these phones you can go ahead and pre-order today, gang. But one thing that I did notice on the let me go back here and I'll share my desktop. While we're talking about the 6P, I noticed pricing on this. if I go in here like I'm going to buy it, and over here on the right, I'll choose my color. I've chose the graphite. 32 gigs of RAM are $499. 64 increases that $50.
That's a
But if
great.
I jump to the 128 gig, it jumps the price $100 more. So there's a $150 price difference between the 32 gigabyte and the 128 gigabyte. Bruce, I'm gonna pick on you again. I know you're not in the market for a phone. If you were gonna purchase this phone, what size memory would you run with?
I think I'd probably go with the 32 gigabyte. Didn't you say they had that offering there?
Yeah,
All
32
right.
gigs, $499.
Yeah, I've got a 32 gigabyte Samsung Galaxy Alpha right now, and I've kind of gotten used to that, and so that's probably the one that I would get.
Jeff, what do you think?
I would go the $50 and do the 64 gig, because that's kind of like I'm getting the $50 credit anyway, so it's a wash.
And it all equals out. George, what do you think, brother?
It'd be super nice if I unmuted. First of all, no, actually, I just ordered a new phone. Actually, I wouldn't get any of those. I'm buying the Blue X, Super X actually. So, in fact,
I don't know if I could go 128 gigabytes, guys. I would like it,
that's just
and I think for the person who likes having their music and movies on their device, you got to plunge there because there's no micro SD card option.
yeah, that's a killer for me too. The extra, it comes in handy sometimes, even if you're just using it for pictures or whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, what do you think of the styling of this phone? Do you think it's an attractive looking phone?
It is actually. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think this phone is the competitor to the Apple's 6S. The true competitor. So, yeah, it's a nice looking phone, and it has what's the battery? 3450 on that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Let me ask George, because I think we're talking about the announcements today and everything else like that. And when you're talking about these phones and you're talking about price, you got to talk about the competition. George, you just said, and you put a link in the chat for us to look at, this Blue Energy X Plus smartphone, 4,000 milliamp battery, and you can buy the rascal for $124.69. It's only got
on sale, so it's cheap.
yeah, it's only got a gigabyte of RAM, okay, but what. And it's got an SD card slot. What caused you to?
Well, I was looking at two phones. There's one up from this that had like a third of the battery life, but it had more RAM and twice the space, twice the memory on it. The reason why I bought this is for when I travel overseas specifically.
Yeah.
4,000 milliamps is very handy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got a huge battery life. I mean, I think it beats almost everything you showed there as far as battery life, and it's super thin. So, and I love my blue phones. I mean, this is a blue. I carry this since our Hurl in Tennessee. It's just after that I bought this in New York. So.
5.5 inch, 8 megapixel camera, LED flash. Yeah, $125. That's almost a burner phone, George.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't look like it works on Verizon, though, right?
No, actually it won't. And I always have fights with people about these phones and Verizon. They're like, well, they got SIMs in them. I'm like, yeah, but it's not for the phone. I mean, it's for either going overseas or using somebody else's 4G network. That SIM card is not for your normal phone usage.
All right.
Getting back to the 6P, the P is for premium, and I think they kind of met their goal. Wouldn't you say?
Yep.
I think it's a very attractive phone, but a lot of people have commented. You know, I ran a poll in the tech and coffee community to, you know, when I was basically asking people, you know, what would you, which one of these would you pick? And I don't know, we got, I think I need to go over there and look to make sure I'm not telling y'all a lie, but about 150 voted. And it was neck and neck with the 5X slightly out, just very so slightly ranking higher than the 6P. Does the fact that this is made by a Chinese company, do you think it's gonna? Do you think people will turn off from this, given Huawei's reputation? As you know, for a long time, the U.S. government was saying that everything that they were building was to aid the Chinese government in spying on the United States.
Yeah, but I'm at, you know, you have Google who's going to be kind of backing up the phone, right? So I don't think that's an issue. But that's just me, you know. I don't think it's going to be an issue.
You know, in the coming year, I'm probably going to be in the market for a new phone. And at this point, I don't know which of these I'd choose. I'm going to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, but for $150 more, right? That's what this is for the $499 version. You do get the, you know, the bigger phone if you're into bigger phones. You get basically more memory and more storage and a bigger battery.
Well, you know what though, and why I agree with all of that, I'm also thinking that, you know, if Marshmallow is going to be that much more power efficient, as what Google is saying, plus the fact that it's still a 1080p screen, which is fine for me on a phone. I mean, I'm thinking that battery life on the 5 is not going to be as bad as it has been in the past. I mean, you know, when I look at Sony and these other companies making these 4K screens, I mean, give me a break, guys. Who needs that? Who needs that kind of pixel density on a phone?
Yeah, you don't. I'm trying to read if this is, again, removable battery, and I don't think it is. So.
No, the 6P does not. It does not have a removable battery. That's one whole piece. But listen, it does sound like this thing has an incredible camera in it, and I think as a whole, this is something that Android manufacturers have really been lacking in some of the phones that they put in these devices. I've got my fingers crossed that these are going to be some very, very quality cameras. All right, man. Hey, let's I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I heard the rumor that Chromecast, a new Chromecast was coming on, this is the thing I got the most excited about because I love my Chromecast. I'm streaming live to 2 different TVs just almost constantly between my Chromecast and Roku. That's basically how I watch television now. They had a pretty good announcement today. One, you've got this audio version of Chromecast, and Spotify is now a partner. And Jeff, you love music. Bruce,
I do.
You love music. George, you love music. So it sounds like this new audio Chromecast is going to enable us to take our old musical dumb equipment, be able to plug this thing into it, and we're going to be able to cast music from all over the place to our stereos.
Yeah, I like the analog plug on it. That was kind of cool.
I got, you know, I'm going to jump in on this one only because I almost pulled the trigger to buy it, and then I thought, you know, when I had my last barbecue, I broke out my old Razor. And, you know, and it worked absolutely wonderfully as a Wi-Fi streaming device to plug it into a speaker. If you have an old phone, isn't this better? And you can control it from another, with apps and, I don't know. So, but
Where
no,
were you? Where were you streaming it to a Bluetooth speaker? Is that what you're saying?
no, I just used the headphone jack out of here and plugged it
Mhm.
into another speaker. Just the same that the Chromecast is going to be. Chromecast audio uses. It's a 35 millimeter.
My old Techniques X4000 400 watt.
And
I mean, receiver I bought probably about 20 years ago. I love the thing, and I'd love to be able to hook something like that into it. You can't buy receivers like that anymore. So
but I'm just saying, your old phone would suffice.
I would say anything with an analog output would, but that would be awesome too. But I've used my a Roku has analog out. You could dual the analog out into a CD input or something like that. And you're good to
Very
go.
true. Very true. And the current Chromecast, I can pull up Google Play Music or whatever
Oh yeah.
and cast it to. I mean, this is as far as being able to stream music. This is not necessarily new on the software side. It's just
Yeah.
dongle is going to enable us to do it with older equipment.
Now, if it had a battery in it, that would make it interesting. If you could use it, without connecting it to a power source, for me.
Okay, and just real quick, the new Chromecast, other than having a new look, it looks more like the Chrome logo. It comes in colors, but and it's a little bit different in that it's not one whole piece. It's like it's got a cable hooking to your HDMI port. So
I think it's easier to connect it into your TV too, because sometimes it's getting that Chromecast in there, perfectly, and then it might fall down because it's too heavy, whatever. Sometimes it's a little bit of pain. So this is a better, and it has a better, the five gigahertz Wi-Fi, so it's a little bit better for the interference and stuff.
yeah, and if you're watching the video here, I've got a little GIF of it put up here showing different colors and how easy it is to hook it up. One thing that really interests me, it sounds like we're finally going to get a true Chromecast app. Up until this point, the Chromecast app was just to enable you to set up the Chromecast. It really didn't. The app itself had no real functionality, and it sounds like that the app coming in a few weeks is going to enable us to actually use the app to control the Chromecast on a somewhat limited fashion. I think you're going to be able, to pull up YouTube or Netflix and maybe scroll through before you cast there. That isn't a whole lot different than what the YouTube or Netflix app currently does when you launch those third-party apps. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I think that they did say, Jeff, you mentioned they've sold 20 million of these, and Roku just recently bragged about selling 10 million. And I think the reason why is one, it works pretty good, but two, it's $35, and
Yeah.
it spawned a lot of copycats. And people that's offered it, Amazon, Roku, and who else? There's others who are offering similar little Wi-Fi streaming dongles that are basically on the same premise as the Chromecast. Okay. Hey guys, at the very end of it, we got the equivalent of Steve Jobs' one more thing. And that was the Pixel C. They are calling it the C for convertible. It's first of all, it's a very impressive looking Android-based tablet. And you buy tablet and the keyboard, you're up around the $650 range. So that's a lot of money. I don't care what anybody says. But when I was watching him demo it, I couldn't help but think of Microsoft Surface with maybe some improvements. Bruce, listen, you're a guy that took a Chromebook to Florida and remoted into your Windows PC back home. You've done that often. Uh, give me your opinions on this tablet.
Well, as you know, I in the beginning, I bought along with Jeff, bought a Nexus tablet and ended up turning mine back in because I figured that I wasn't a tablet person. And then 4 or 5 months ago, I got an Android tablet, and I really like it. It's one of the ways I manage my battery usage, quite honestly. And even though my phone does have a replaceable battery, when I'm flying and everything, I do some things on the phone, and then I do some things on the tablet, like listening to music in the plane. I use my tablet. I've got a 64 gigabyte SD card in the tablet, those types of things. So, but what I like most about this is the amazing hardware design. If they're going to put the Pixel name on this, and of course, there's we have discussion about whether or not they should have put Chrome OS on it. Like the Pixel laptop, but the hardware design on this thing, aside from being like the Surface, and Apple's kind of copied that with some of their new stuff, I really like the hardware design. As I watched them flip that thing around and saw the way it would maybe work better on your lap than a Microsoft Surface would, you can tell that they really put some thought into this. I'm not certain whether I would be in the market for something like this. I've got a Dell XPS 13 that I work on. Like I said, I've got an Android tablet. I've got a smartphone that I like. So, but I can see somebody that was wanting to do more production type stuff, a traveling businessman or something else like that, could be something. But the hardware is amazing in every way. The screen resolution, the build quality, everything really looks sharp.
I agree. Jeff, jump in here, man.
Well, I just have a problem with the price. I still think for a Chromebook lasts 8 hours. You can do pretty much the same thing. You don't have the ability to, detach the keyboard, but I'm not a real touch. What?
You do on some Chromebooks.
Well, there you go. So I think the price is a little high end, right? And I don't need that big resolution for what I use it for. It's not an entertainment consumption device for me. It's more of an internet browsing device, and I don't know how much work I would do on it. I mean, if I'm doing work, I'm typing up Word documents or something. I'm not. So, I don't know. It's a tough one for me. It's a tough. I don't have a Surface. I do have the Nexus 10. I'm in kind of like, not a big whoopee for me.
George, we've talked a lot on this show how tablets seem to be a fading category. They're not popular. I mean, iPad sales are going down instead of up, but yet Apple still makes, these like the iPad Pro with a keyboard. That thing's what, $1,100-$1,200 if you get it, configured a certain way. Who's going to buy this tablet? I mean, who did Google make this tablet for?
Google makes this tablet for everyone who's pretty much bought tablets in the past, I would assume. People who read, people who travel. It's pretty much a universal tablet. NFC. I mean, it's gonna do a lot for a lot of people, but it may not be a top seller anymore. But it's made for specifically people who like high-end tablets. So.
But what would you use it for?
What do I use it for? I'd probably use it for hacking Ingress portals.
No, no,
So you have so you're on the plane going to Odd Camp. Would you pull out this tablet and watch something, or
I'd
would
probably
you?
watch a movie on it or something like that. I've used my tablet to sit in coffee shops or restaurants and just either watch something, read something, communicate with people, and hang out, stuff like that. So um, I would probably use it this exact same way as I use any of my other tablets, including my older Nexus, which still works fine. Um, I do use a Chromebook quite a bit too. The Chromebook is just it depends. If I'm going out, I'll look. I'm like tablet day, Chromebook day. I mean, they're both going to work about the same for me. Depends on what I'm going to do, to be honest with you, because my phone does everything the tablet's going to do. It's got less apps, but I'm just going to figure, okay, maybe it's a phone and Chromebook day.
uh, all right, I'll tell you, when he pulled that thing out and he called it the Pixel, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought that when he got done, he was going to talk about $1,000 price tag. I was actually shocked when I heard, the price, but then I got to thinking about it, and honestly, guys, I, I'm not going to spend $650 on a tablet. I'm just not going to do it. If I'm considering spending $650 on a tablet, I'm going to buy a PC.
I'd probably buy a Chromebook over that tablet specifically. I'd buy a higher end Chromebook over the tablet.
Right.
I've got
Yeah,
two
that new
tablets sitting
Samsung
here.
with the backlit keyboard, hey Duke?
Absolutely. I'm
Yep.
telling you right now, IPS display and a backlit keyboard, I'm all about that Chromebook.
Yep.
All right, man. Hey, I guess that's really it for the announcements. As far as Android M, there was really nothing new there. We
It's
got
coming out next week. It's coming out next week, right?
Yes, it will be. Will start being pushed to Nexus devices next week. But as far as any kind of announcements, we got all of that back at the I/O conference. Basically, a lot of the Android M news. Of course, the big thing about M is going to be Google Now on tap. That's basically going to give third-party developers API access to Google Now, and it's probably going to scare a lot of these privacy people on just the information, because it's going to be aware of where you're at and what you're doing, and it's going to feed you information based on that. And I'm pretty excited about that, guys. I'm really looking forward to Google Now on tap. But
So
there was really nothing really new, except they talked a little bit about the
Project Fi.
Project Fi wasn't what I was going to say, but what I was the fingerprint sensor
Oh.
and the software that's going to be built into Android M. Yes, Project Fi. All of these Nexus devices are compatible with Google's telephone network.
Does anyone know anyone who is on that?
I don't know anyone personally. I've seen some people on Google Plus who are on it and have talked about it.
Just wonder how that's, it's. I see nothing, and I guess maybe it's because of they're waiting for the devices to catch up with it that can, be realistically rolled out. But yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Okay. Hey guys, before we move into our app segment, let me do a couple of things here. One, I'm going to do what I always do. Hey guys, we are Tech and Coffee. We have been a Google Plus daily hangout since when, George? December of 2011? Does that sound right?
It's November, actually.
November, and actually
November 11
we were we were
Before
all
that, we were a hangout, but November 2011 is when we became Tech and Coffee.
yes, we were all doing hangouts, but George created a room called Tech and Coffee, and we've been having a ball ever since. We've met people from all over the world. We've become friends, and this is your invitation to come to Tech and Coffee and hang out with us. We normally get started about 8 a.m. Eastern time, and they go on throughout the day into the night. We've got people from Europe, people from America, and we love talking tech, guys. You need to come over and check us out. We got a Twitter, a Facebook, and a YouTube. We're at Twitter and Facebook, we're Tech and Coffee 1. At YouTube, we're Tech and Coffee. Hey, search for us and add us on Google Plus. Search for Tech and Coffee. Look for that TNC logo. Hey, you can tweet us, or you can use it on Google Plus using the hashtag and Coffee. You want to email us, aj@techandcoffee.info. And thanks to George, Yvonne, and Matthew, who are all regulars in Tech and Coffee, we now have a Chrome extension. So you can go to the Chrome
Yay.
store, grab the Chrome extension, and you can easily join us in our Hangouts. And also there's some other links there. Hey, check out the Chrome extension. I know I am enjoying the heck out of it. Find it in the Chrome web store. Just search on Tech and Coffee. Absolutely, man.
And the price is free $99. Free $99.
You can't beat that price. Absolutely. Hey, Bruce, what kind of app you got for us, man?
All right. My app is, I discovered it when I was in Tampa. I was doing a convention for the company that I work for, and there's a restaurant in Tampa that the managers, we decided we were just going to go out and really have a really nice meal. And the restaurant I wanted to find out some more information about was one that I had eaten at when I was in high school. It's called the Columbia Restaurant. If anybody's ever been to Tampa and eaten at the Columbia Restaurant, you know what a great restaurant it is. So as I began to search on how to do reservations and everything, I came across this Open Table app. And one of the things you'll see as I share my screen, that this is an editor's choice app. It's also a top developer app. You can see that it has 4.3 as far as the ratings are concerned, and it's just a really, really great app. So when I open this app on my phone, one of the things it will do is it will show me all restaurants near Lynchburg. So if you happen to be in a city, maybe you're in some place like Jacksonville or New Orleans or whatever, and you want to really go to a nice restaurant. I'm talking about the kind, you don't make reservations at Tijuana Flats. Not that Tijuana Flats is not a great place to go, but they don't require reservations. But there's a restaurant here close by called the Neighbor's Place. So and I can tap on the Neighbor's Place, and I can it'll bring me up a reservation screen. You can see I can make a reservation for 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. All I got to do is tap one of those. And there's menu selections on here. I can look at the menus, the wine list. I can read reviews. But the thing I really like about this a lot is the ability to be able to make a reservation. And so this is the reservation screen for 8 o'clock. It's 7:39 right now here in Lynchburg, Virginia. We're Eastern Standard Time. And I could sign in because I have an account. You put your name, your first name, last name, email, phone, any special request, and then you tap reserve, and you get feedback, and you've made your reservation. You go up there, and it's all done. So I just think there are a lot of apps for reviewing restaurants and everything, but there are none more finer than Open Table. So if you're traveling, you're going to be in a nice big city, and you want to take your wife out or your significant other to a really nice place that requires reservation, Open Table will get the job done for you.
And just I don't use the app, but I use Open Table. They do give you a a coupon certificate after a certain amount of reservations that you do through them.
Correct.
So that's another nice little perk.
Yeah, and you can reserve using their website too, as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. I think you're muted there, Duke.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
My,
No!
all right, George, what you got, man?
What do I have? I have something that Yvonne in our community showed me, and I'm pretty addicted to it on and off here. It's called Ticket to Ride. It costs, I think, $6.99 in the store. I just kind of queued up part of the video with no audio here. It's basically you're building trains against other people. It's based off the board game Ticket to Ride, and which is also an amazing game as well. This is pretty much a multiplayer um, Android version, and you can sit here and try to create. You can play multiple players. We've played up to 3 players so far in this. I think you can go up to 4. To be the first to build the most railroads going across between 2 cities. So you pick up cars that have 2 cities. You're getting so many trains that you can build. So there's a limited number of trains, and when it runs out of trains, it's pretty much the last round, and whoever has made all those cities gets a lot of points, and whoever has the most points wins. It's a pretty decent game. There's many boards. The boards cost a little extra money if you want to play like I don't know, some of the European boards or some of the other American boards. So it's a pretty decent game. Ticket to Ride. $6.99. I think the lowest price for extra boards is about $1, and they can go up to about $7 or $8.
All right, very good. Ticket to Ride, man. $6.99 in the Play
Pretty
Store.
addictive, and it's well worth the price. Even if you just play against the computer, it's pretty decent.
All right.
Take
Hey,
it.
Jeff, what do you got?
All right, let me share my screen. I've been on this kick of trying to learn how to play piano, and I'll break out "Happy Birthday" for you later on.
Now you can.
Yeah, no, I can exactly. No, let me share my screen real quick. My app is called Piano Plus or The Pianist. And it's been downloaded, looks like 516,000 times. It's a top developer as well. It's a free app. I always do free apps because that's my nature.
Is you cheap?
I could be cheap. It's kind of like the other app that I showed you before with the kind of like the musician where it teaches you to play tab. This is kind of works the same way. It has a I'll try to fire it up over here. Switch this over. So it kind of works the same way as Guitar Hero or any of those things. You pull up. This is again the free version, so it's going to show some ads first because that's how they hook you. Look, I can join HBO now. Thank you so much. So basically, you have a songbook, and you have different levels, and you can load in different songs from the cloud. I'll do this hard level because that's what I am. I'm going to do the Turkish March, and then you pick if you want to show the left hand or the right hand. Pulls up the song, and then you play it. Okay, and it shows you what keys for the melody. So that's kind of cool. You can slow it down, speed it up. So if you have a song that you kind of like, you want to try to learn, you just don't know how to figure it out. This is a wonderful way to kind of see it in real time. It doesn't obviously. I have a real piano, so it doesn't hook up, and I'm not too sure if it does hook up to like a MIDI interface that will light up or something like that on your piano if you had something that had that. But hey, it's free. Why not?
So on the off chance of, say, you wanted, like me, maybe to pay for an app, how much would it be to get it without the ads?
don't know. Let's see if it shows you down here. I don't know what the in-app purchase is. Let's see.
Why don't you just purchase it for us and see?
No.
It reminded me of the musical version of Space Invaders.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, for me, try to figure out the melody on the piano is like really hard. I just try to get it there, and this at least gives you a direction to go. And
So do you feel that it's really helping you to learn how to play the piano?
it's helping me understand the song that I want to try to learn. Yes, most definitely.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right, Jeff, very good. All right, let's see here, guys. Let me take you here. I think that a while back I talked about these widgets, but about any time that I pull my phone out and people look down at my screen, they ask me what kind of phone that is. And I really think that at this point, a lot of people think that it's a Google Nexus thing. And I'll explain to them that basically I'm running a skin, but the reason why I am able to get a clock that looks like this clock with a calendar running down the side over here is because I'm using something called Super Widgets. Now I am using the Pro version, the one that I paid for, Jeff. And
Money was involved.
but listen, if you guys use any kind of a launcher on your device, check out Super Widgets. These things, they are very, very highly customizable, and you can really do some amazing things with your Android layout to make it personal. And I'm going to warn you, if you just like to open your phone and have it work, Super Widgets probably aren't for you. But if you're the person who really likes to customize your device and make it yours, you're going to have a ball with the Super Widgets. There's nothing too hard about it. Like I say, you can pick the elements that's in it, change the colors, change the sizes. It's really incredible what all you can do with these widgets. And yeah, Super Widgets. Just check them out. And really, really quick, let me switch to my desktop view here. Wrong one, dude. Here's Super Widgets. It's just to show you some screen captures. This is where you would go in and change the background colors, the layout, the location, how often you want it to update. There's some of the default widgets that you can find. Honestly, and I mean, you can do widgets for, how much power your phone's got. You can do weather, clocks, calendars. There's just all kinds of widgets already built in. And I'm serious. This is it's a great product.
Can it allow you to override, like, how the phone goes to sleep and things like that if you have a certain app in?
This does not control global preferences and settings like you're speaking of. Okay? These are just widgets, and they will only function within the widget. But you can see right here is a good example of one that was built. It's going to give you the calendar, it's going to give you the time, it gives you the weather. Here's some, it's probably a calendar event of the Cubs game with Ferris. Then you can add in other apps such as the camera, email, messaging, phone, and it tells you that the phone is currently charging. You can do all of this with Super Widgets that come with this device. It really is incredible. Here's a widget made to look like the Windows Tile interface, doing all of that. I can't say enough about this. This is great. If you like to customize, check out Super Widgets.
And how much is that?
I don't know how much it is. Like I say, Jeff, I bought it
$2.99.
$2.99.
$2.99. Yep.
Okay.
Super Pro.
Hey guys, before we call this one episode 106, Jeff, how many iPhones were sold over the weekend?
I think 13 million, which is a good solid number.
Did you buy one?
Of course not. No, because I don't want to be fired off Android Journal.
Also, that would require him to purchase something.
Exactly. Hey, you know, I have expensive tastes. Everything's free.
Robert
guys.
said, somebody's got to belittle you. So.
Hey, listen. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Tech and Coffee 1. Follow us on YouTube at Tech and Coffee. And more than any of that, install the Tech and Coffee widget in the Chrome Web Store, and then click on the main Hangout and come and hang out with us. We love to talk tech, but we love to talk other stuff too. Jeff, he can tell you about his dogs. Bruce, he'll probably pull out his guitar and sing you a song. And George will just knock you if you come in using Windows. So yeah, just come and hang out with us, man. We have a good time. We'll talk current events. We'll talk beers. We'll talk coffees. We'll talk about anything you like to discuss. But yeah, come check us out. Hey, gang, anything else? This is your final chance.
I just want to say one thing about Tech and Coffee real quick, because I always like to jump in really fast before Bruce does. Everyone is very tolerant, so it's not an abrasive environment. You know, everyone appreciates other people's points of view. They may not agree with it, but it never gets abrasive or personal or whatever. So it's
Only
really
against
good.
you.
Against me, of course, yeah.
I think that is a strong point. And by the way, just a little bit more about Tech and Coffee. We try to annually do a hurl both in America and in Europe. And I've met several people. I've met George and Bruce. Jeff, I haven't had the opportunity to meet you yet. And hopefully when I die, I'll see you in heaven.
Yeah, we'll be passing like this.
Hey, I just want to add, we've added a new feature to the Tech and Coffee portfolio, and that is we now offer blab therapy.
Yes.
And so if you become addicted to blab, we can help set you free.
Oh yeah, big time.
Alfred, we're talking about you, my friend.
Pretty good at stalking his butt and pulling him out of him.
Hey, gang, listen, this is Android Journal. Catch you in 7. Peace out, everybody.